This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today we speak to you from the School-Based Health Center at Jamestown High School, and joining me first is Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, thank you for arranging this special program here at Jamestown High School.
Well, all I did was arrange the program. Deb Piotrowski arranged everybody else who's here, so she really gets most of the thanks.
And you will hear a lot of voices over the next half an hour related to the School-Based Health Center here at Jamestown High School. But Steve, two things you and I need to do quickly. One, we are here because it is School-Based Health Center Month.
Correct.
And we are here at Jamestown High School because there is a Resource Center connection to the School-Based Health Center. Could you explain that?
Sure. The Resource Center has been operating the School-Based Health Center within the walls of Jamestown High School for 10 or 11 years now. It's an opportunity for students to be able to access health services without having to leave the building to go off to a doctor's appointment. And it's been very successful. And we've talked about this program, or the School-Based Health Center, before on our radio show, but it's been a few years. So we thought now was a good time to come back and re-educate the listeners about all that goes on here at the School-Based Health Center, because there are also some new services that we're providing since we last did our program here.
So who really is in charge here at the School-Based Health Center?
That would be Debbie Piotrowski.
Deb Piotrowski, welcome back to Share the Vision.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you again. And you are medically trained. I want to give your degree or your credentials on the radio here.
Okay, I'm a family nurse practitioner. I do have my Master's of Science in Nursing, and then I'm certified as a family nurse practitioner.
And what happens here at the School-Based Health Center in terms of the services that you offer? Could we lay that out just in general terms for the community here if people don't know about your work at this place?
Sure. If you think about the School-Based Health Center as a doctor's office or a primary care clinic that sits in the school, it's easy access for the kids. It's not run by the school, as Steve had said. It's really run by the Resource Center. So the services provided here are very confidential for the kids. And it's easy access. They come out of their class for appointments, or if they need services throughout the day, they just come down and see us.
Is this service available to all the students of Jamestown High School? Do you service all the students of Jamestown High School?
The only requirement for enrollment is the child has to be at the Jamestown High School. There is a consent that the parent has to sign, just as though the parent would go to a primary care office or a pediatrician's office. They would need to sign a consent so their child could be treated, and we need the same thing. We need a consent signed. Once it's signed, the child's enrolled through their entire high school career.
Now, if a student has health care available otherwise with a pediatrician or other doctor in town, they would likely not come here? Just explain that piece of the puzzle to me. Or would they?
They do and can come here. Most of our kids already have a primary care provider. I work in conjunction with them. So it's really, if I see a primary care provider's child, and once I've treated them, my note gets faxed over to them, so they're kept into the loop of the treatment that was provided here.
I would like to pursue some more of these things with you. We have other guests, but one of the people who runs Jamestown High School is just down the hall here. We're in the hallway at the School-Based Health Center. She has a very busy agenda, so I would like to get a few of her comments if you would introduce her, please.
This is Leslie Malquist. She's one of our assistant principals here.
And you work closely with her?
Yes, very closely.
Leslie, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes on the air talking to us about Jamestown High School and the School-Based Health Center.
Absolutely.
How does this, in a real-life, real-time basis, how does the School-Based Health Center fit into the life and the health of Jamestown High School?
We all function as a school-wide team. I pick up the phone at any point in time and call Debbie with concerns that I may have over students. Some of the students that I see that may be having a rough day, may have had some issues at home, that just need somebody to talk to. I bring them down here, and Debbie will clear her schedule to work with these students that need some extra supports at that time. So it really is nice having this within the school, knowing that she can reach out and provide additional supports for these students that may not be accessible to us if we didn't have it available to us.
Now, Leslie Malquist, let me ask you this question. It may be a little ignorant, but are you the assistant principal of everything, or are you the assistant principal of a particular, do you have a particular area or areas of responsibility?
Well, there are 2 assistant principals in the high school. There's Dana Williams and myself. And we pretty much split the student population within the school. So we handle a majority of our responsibility is handling any of the discipline issues. But we also work closely with all of the faculty and staff that we have within the school to try to find the best supports available for our students.
What kinds of things happen in conjunction with the school-based health center here in terms of, is it physical illnesses that you treat, or are there other things that you get into for the cases that, not to violate any confidentiality, but for the things that you and Deb Piotrowski confer on a day-to-day basis? Give us some examples, some samples of what kinds of things those are.
It can range from maybe she needs to see a student for us that may have been involved in a fight, that may have experienced some violence at home prior to coming to school, some mental health concerns, drug use, things like that.
Being a teenager is hard in today's world, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And this could then become a real source, a resource, an oasis for someone who needs help meeting those challenges, whatever they are.
Yeah, absolutely. We want the kids to know more than anything that there's somebody within this building that's there to help them out. So by making the kids aware of the school-based health center and the resources that are available to them here.
The tones don't bother me. This just demonstrates to the audience that we really are at Jamestown High School, and we're recording this on a real-time basis. I suppose after a while you don't even hear them.
We don't. So we just want them to know and have them experience as many outlets as possible so that no matter what their concern is or what problem they may be going through, there's somebody here that's looking out for them that can help them.
Now, a couple of just basic things about JHS before you leave us if you have to, but you're welcome to stay for the entire rest of the broadcast and chime in when you want to, but I too know you have other responsibilities. The age or grades of students who come to JHS for those who know nothing of this facility.
JHS runs 9 through 12.
And how many students are here?
Right now there's about 1,300 students here.
And is it approximately 51% female, 49% male? Or
Yeah, I would say about half and half.
Any other aspect of this work that the School-Based Health Center does or the support that you get from it that you would like to address before I leave you, or you have to leave us, Leslie?
No, we're all a great team and all here to help the kids, so it's a great facility.
Back to Deb Piotrowski for a moment here. Anything you want to say about what Leslie talked about in terms of your relationship to the school and the things that you deal with? Did she bring up anything that you would like to address further?
Just to reiterate that we are here as a team for these kids to provide the services that these kids need to be successful in life and to graduate from high school.
And unlike the school nurse's office of the days of old where people came in if they fell while participating in sports or they had a fever or they didn't feel well, you deal with a much broader range of issues, it sounded like, from what Leslie said, some that reach deeply into young people's lives.
Yes, we do. We see kids from anywhere from just first aid things, and my nurse pretty much takes care of those things, to kids who have been traumatized by abuse or of something violent that they've been exposed to or something that's happened to them, to your regular illnesses of the sore throats, coughs, headaches, and those types of things. It's really a comprehensive site, so anything that kids may need, they pretty much can get through us.
You are the family nurse practitioner here.
Yes.
How many other staff members are there who works with you to help these young people?
I have a nurse. She's an LPN. Her name is Deb Cabrera. She's my right-hand person. And then we have Jillian Zioli, who's my medical assistant. She functions in a variety of roles.
There's another person I want you to introduce to me who's with us in the hallway here right now, who offers one of the newer services here at the School-Based Health Center.
Yes, this is Pam Cranston. She's a dental assistant. We now provide dental services as of February of last year, I believe. So it's been about a year. And it's a valuable service. A lot of these kids don't have a dentist to go to, or have they not seen one for sometimes a few years, and some of these kids have never, ever in their life seen a dentist.
Boy, that strikes me pretty hard to know that there are young people in the age range of 9th to 12th grade who've never seen a dentist.
Yes. Yes, surprising. It's not a third world country, but sometimes you wonder.
Say your name for me again.
Pam Cranston.
Pam, thank you for spending a few minutes on the air with me. Now, we should say to the audience that you're here today, but you're not the regular hygienist here?
No, actually, the regular hygienist is here 2 days a week, and she generally sees about 7 students each day that she's here. And she could do anything from just doing a routine cleaning. She also provides sealants for the adult teeth that do not have any decay. But something very important that she will do is work very closely with the parents and make sure that they get a slip on the child saying if they need further treatment at a regular dentist, or she may refer them if they don't have one to the resource center.
And you have a fully equipped dental office right around the corner here.
Absolutely. There's a chair in there, and she's got a whole suction unit to be able to do all the jobs that she needs, and she has all the units that she needs to be able to clean the teeth.
In the changing world of medicine, is there more coming to the role of the hygienist? And I guess I could ask that question not just for young people, but generally. Do hygienists do more? Are they responsible for more? Do doctors rely on you for more now? Dentists rely on you for more now in the health environment that we live in?
Actually, they are able to look at a patient, and they don't actually do the exam, but they are able to assess if they need further treatment. So it's a very valuable thing. And most students will get 2 cleaning visits a year. And so they can come here during the school year. If they space them out properly, they can come, every 6 months and get their dental cleaning, and then they can be referred through their parents to their regular dentist to have whatever needs to be done.
Do young people brush their teeth like they ought to?
They need a lot of instruction.
Really? In terms of knowing how or how often to do? Or
Probably both. I think that everyone is a lot busier than they used to be. And so it's good to have a reminder and someone to give good instruction to check their teeth, their gums, and give them proper instruction on brushing 3 times, and also what they eat. You are what you eat. So it's very important they do a little bit of nutrition in there as well.
Thank you so much for your
You're
time
welcome.
and your insights. Speaking about the dental services available at the school-based health center at Jamestown High School, hygienist Pam Cranston. The family nurse practitioner at the school-based health center at JHS is Deb Piotrowski. Deb, I want to come back to you, and the time is passing by very quickly here. I have a list of questions that's coming to mind that I want to ask you if time presents at the end, but there are 2 other people who have joined us here, and I want to give them an opportunity to speak to the subject of the day as well.
Okay. This is Selena Santiago. She's a student here, and she's one of our kids. And I've asked her to come down and speak with you, and she's willing to do that.
Hello, Selena.
Hi,
What grade are you in here at the high school?
I'm a senior here at JHS.
Congratulations. Now, I must ask about your future. What are you looking forward to doing after June?
I'm looking forward to going to college, but I still don't know exactly what I want to do for a career.
How is it to be a senior in Jamestown High School these days, in a sentence or two? Hard work? Are you having a good time? Or what's it like to be a senior now in late February looking forward to June?
It's not too hard, but it's not an easy thing to do either, so it's just something you have to get done, and yeah.
Taking a lot of hard courses?
Not this semester, no. They're pretty interesting and kind of easy.
Talk to me about your relationship to the school-based health center, and thank you in advance for being willing to come and speak on the air about coming to this place.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I've been coming to the school-based health center since 2011 when I was a freshman. I've had a good relationship with Debbie. She's helped me with so much, everything I go through, from physical problems to mental problems. She's always been there to help me. So I really appreciate that there's a school-based health center here right in my school, so I don't have to go far either, to a doctor's office. I can just come here, and it's all right here.
So let me have you put this in a positive way. What are the contributions, the good things that the school-based health center has helped you do or accomplish in your life, Selena?
I've accomplished a lot more. At one point, I was doing pretty bad in school, and Deb here, she helped me get into programs that helped me with school, and now I'm doing better than ever.
Well, congratulations, and thank
you.
you for taking life by the bootstraps and doing the right things for yourself. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
I was speaking with Leslie Melquist. You heard that part of the conversation very early on in this half hour about the students of Jamestown High School. And I said to her, being a teenager is hard. And there was radio listeners could not see the flash across her face at that time, but immediately she agreed. I would offer that same thing to you. Is it hard to be a teenager these days?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Why? How?
There's just so much you have to deal with. There's like school, home, friends, relationships, a lot.
And you're coping with all of this okay?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm getting through it.
Well, we wish you the best on the last part of the ride here for the next several months, and thank you again for speaking to me.
Thank you.
Today on Share the Vision, we're visiting the school-based health center at Jamestown High School, which is run by the Resource Center. And you just heard from a student at JHS, Selena Santiago. She's a senior who's taken advantage of the services at the school-based health center. Now back to the family nurse practitioner there, Deb Piotrowski. Now, there's one other young woman who's here today who's not been here often before, perhaps never before, I don't know.
This is Mary Beth White. She's a student nurse from JCC who spent the day with me today.
Mary Beth White. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for spending a minute with us on the radio here. A little bit of your background before we get into this too far. You are a student in the nursing program at JCC.
Yes, I'm in my 4th and final semester to get my RN.
4th and final. There was a certain finality to that. Congratulations to you. There's a lot of work that goes into this.
Yes, there is. Thank you.
Have you visited other places in the community where health centers and doctors' offices as part of your study?
A lot of us go to WCA. Some of the students go to Brooks. We also are working with Chautauqua Hospice. Mm-hmm. And the students are spaced out throughout the high schools as well.
Are you from Jamestown to begin with?
I'm not. I'm actually from a little town, Old City in PA.
Oh, we know
and
that
I live
well.
in Warren.
and so you had never been to the school-based health center here at JHS before today?
Never.
So one day in, what did you see? What can you tell us? Your fresh observations, considering your background, training, teaching, and the other things you've experienced. What did you see here today?
I was very impressed. I really felt like it was going to be your school nurse who just did the bumps and bangs and send you on your way or send you home. It was very interesting to see how much Deb interacts with the students and how much trust they put in her. For the most part, all the students listen to her. They take what she says in stride, and a lot of them seem to really take it and run. And like they talked earlier, it is a group effort here. You know, Deb does her part here, but she also is saying we need to refer you here. We need to make sure you're seeing this person and that person. And I mentioned that to Deb earlier, that was very impressive to me that she follows through so much with her students.
You will graduate from JCC's nursing program in May?
Yes.
What would be the ideal place where you would land if you could choose?
Right now, I am looking at ICU or the ER. I don't know if I could handle what Deb does. It's amazing. I told her that it must be really rewarding, and I'm sure some days it's very stressful, but seeing what she does, totally different outlook on school nursing.
You're a very articulate spokesperson on behalf of your program and what you saw here today, and I wish you all the best, and thank you for being willing to jump in and be something like an ICU nurse. I mean, someone has to be there, and that's a very demanding role, so thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Deb Piotrowski, we have a few minutes that remain in our program today, and I have some questions that I would like to ask you. One of them, based on what Mary Beth White just said, is this. For all of us who are parents or interact with young people in the community, what are the keys to success in engaging teenagers?
Talk to your kids. You know, make sure you know where they are and what they're doing, who they're hanging with. You're allowed to be on their Facebook. You're allowed to get on their phones. They don't own that. You do. And just make sure you know what your kids are doing, because you may be surprised as what you may find out.
How do you open the door to difficult conversations? Mary Beth suggested that you had a real way with young people in terms of getting them to respect and listen to what you say. Not all of us as adults are able to be that persuasive. So what are those tools that you use to engage positively young people and have them take away and act on the messages you give them?
The first thing is you can't get respect unless you give respect. I respect these kids for who they are. I don't talk down to them. They're people too. They have feelings just like we do. I talk very frankly to them, and I say what I mean. And the kids who know me know that I say what I mean. And I'm really just here to help them, no matter what it is. You know, whether it's a mental health crisis, whether it's an abuse situation, it doesn't matter. I treat these kids like I would want my own children treated. And, you know, I hope that comes out, and that's what they see, and that's what they feel.
You love your work.
I do. I love my work.
I would like to have you give me your perspective, because of the pressure of time, just briefly on a number of subjects. One, young people and diet. Are they paying attention appropriately to what they eat, the students that you interact with?
I don't think most of them do, but I can't really blame them. When I was a kid, a long time ago, it was a much different choice of foods. You know, we didn't have packaged foods. We didn't have stores on every corner where you could stop in with $1 and buy whatever junk food you wanted. And so we grew up differently. And these kids are exposed to this on a daily basis, so that's what they've learned to live with, and that's become the norm for them. So we talk about that. We talk about what should be your fruits and vegetables, just regular old dietary things that everybody should be consuming, along with activity.
I was going to ask you, how about physical exercise? Do young people exercise? Do they move enough, or are they too screen-dominated?
I'm not sure if they're too screen-dominated, but I don't think they move enough. Kids will come in concerned that they've increased their weight in a period of time. And we talk about, you know, you always have to talk about weight and activity together. You can't really seclude one or the other. So with a portion control and increasing their activity, and just strategies to do that. You know, walk to school. When you go to a store, you walk up and down all the aisles. You have your mom park as far away as she can. Just different strategies. When you're in the building, walk up and down the steps a couple of times instead of one time. So there's lots of ways, even in the winter months, where you can get your increase in activity.
Risky behavior. We have all learned, I think, over time that as young people mature, they are more likely to take risks, but not yet have, until they're in their mid-20s or later, the real decision-making ability, growth in the brain to decipher which risks might be advisable, which might not be, and there are a lot of risks out there today. How do you deal with, what do you say to young people about risky behavior of any kind?
We talk a lot about the adolescent brain. There is so much research now about the adolescent brain, and I take the time to talk with these kids who are using illicit substances, whether it be nicotine and any other chemicals, over-the-counter medications,
and you
whatever
see that
it is.
all the time. Yeah.
I see it. And it's not just at the Jamestown High School. It's everywhere. It's all through the country. And talking with these kids about the potential long-term effects on some of the substances they use on the adolescent brain, and to avoid doing that, and referring them as needed.
Your assistant principal, the student you had join us on the show today, both spoke to the fact that being a teenager is demanding and hard these days. What do you do with, how do you talk to young people about mental health?
I do a lot of mental health screening throughout the day, and I really try to do at least a depression screen on all the kids at least once, because there is a lot of depression in this population.
Doesn't that make you sad to know that these young people with so much life and energy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and enthusiasm and brains are depressed?
It doesn't make me sad. It just, you know, it's the awareness out there of making sure the kids get the services that they need to help combat the depression. And it's not always a lifelong thing. Sometimes it's a situational thing that they have their depression, and it's treatable. People who have diabetes get treated. People who have asthma get treated. Mental health is a disease that needs to be treated.
We're going to pursue mental health a little further right at the tail end of this program with someone who could not be with us in the hallway here at the School-Based Health Center today, but we are about to leave you, Deb Piotrowski. It has been a joy. It has been educational, energizing to come and share with you and to feel your passion and your love, if you'll allow me, for these students here. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I come now to speak with Steve Risker, Interim Director of Behavioral Health Services at the Resource Center. And we've come to a different place for a moment to catch up with Steve and talk about the counseling and mental health services made available at Jamestown High School through the office that Deb Piotrowski runs. Steve, it impressed me as we were doing the interviews earlier in this program how important and vital this service is to the young people at JHS.
It really is, Dennis. And we have run the school-based health centers, as you know, for a number of years, over 10 years at Jamestown High School. And one of the, I guess, things that keeps coming around is that a lot of the students presenting with medical issues not only have medical issues, but have some issues that may require counseling or some type of mental health behavioral intervention, either through counseling, as I said, or even medication management.
It is simultaneously, for me, good news in the sense that the service is available, and a little sad news that young people in that age range would need this kind of support. But I suppose in today's world that is just something we have to face, that young people have the same sorts of challenges that all the rest of the population does.
That's very true. There are a lot of pressures on students. A lot of the students have issues at home and in the community that require some assistance with, referrals, as I said, somebody just to talk to and to guide them. And we feel that it's very important to have that service integrated with the primary care services that we offer there. And this goes along with a lot of the initiatives we're seeing at the state and federal levels where behavioral health services are being integrated into primary care settings or vice versa. And it really helps you to treat the whole individual and to make sure that they're getting the most comprehensive and coordinated care possible.
How is it that the Resource Center can make this extension in terms of mental health and counseling into Jamestown High School? Because you do counseling already, you have a mental health facility to begin with?
That certainly helps. We've been doing behavioral health services at the Resource Center for over 25 years now, and we have an array of fully qualified staff from psychiatrists, psychiatric nurse practitioners, licensed social workers, and mental health counselors who can assist in the treatment of individuals who have this type of need.
Steve, thank you for giving us a little overview of your perspective on the mental health services available at the School-Based Health Center. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dennis. We very much appreciate it.
And that is the voice of Steve Risker, Interim Director of Behavioral Health Services at the Resource Center. Steve Watterson, what is your impression, and we only have a minute here to wrap up, what a program we've done here today.
Oh, it's great. It's very eye-opening. It's I don't have children, so I don't know what's going on with the teenagers of the world these days, but to hear how busy the School-Based Health Center is, but also how involved Debbie and her staff is, and how much the students, obviously respect Debbie and her staff, take to heart what she tells them for the most part, right? But it's wonderful. Not everyone is comfortable reaching out when they have issues, particularly mental health challenges, and things are bothering them. And the fact that students are comfortable enough to come here and discuss what is troubling them, concerning them for their physical health and mental health is just fantastic.
Well, and let's go back to where we started almost a half an hour ago in saying that this is made possible by virtue of the fact that the Resource Center has a willingness and ongoing support of this place. So this is an extension into a much different community than you often deal with.
All right, good point, because there are probably some listeners on the air who maybe aren't familiar completely with the Resource Center. They're thinking, oh, wait a minute, TRC helps people with disabilities. What's this with the School-Based Health Center? The Resource Center has been providing health-related services that are available to anybody with or without a disability for more than 25 years. So as part of that, we are able to operate school-based health centers in schools such as Jamestown High School, and it's just been fantastic, the impact that the SBHC, we use the acronym, has made. So we're very grateful. Debbie's been involved since day one. She's been here. It's been the constant, and it's just been very successful, and everybody's happy with how things have been going.
We must go. To you, Steve, to you, Deb Piotrowski, to everyone who's joined us, thank you for sharing the vision today.